Okay, hi. So this is a new test with, well, it's not a new test. It's a test of my new filming device. And I might be too close or too far. I don't know. I'm sorry. This is the first time I'm using this. Let's say hi, Jennifer, to my lovely wife,
Hello.
who lets me waste all kinds of time in the garage on crafts and things. Yeah, she said way too much a couple more times. But Jennifer, do you like dressing up as Star Wars characters and all the other costumes? And do I twist your arm just a little bit?
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe a little
A
bit.
little bit with the bald caps. I think he likes bald caps maybe a little bit too much.
Yeah. It's fun. It's fun. It's fun. Okay. So let's move on. Thank you. All right. So we'll get into my workshop in a minute. We have the mantle with the helmets that I've made, as well as some memorabilia from events and things that we've gone to, and then lots of family fun photos and everything. So we have my original bucket build Mandalorian helmet. This is the first helmet I've ever made. It was a hard hat build. As you've seen from my videos, I talked through how to make this stuff. So this is my first original kit helmet. Then we move on to my second kit, which I call my Revan kit. Everyone calls it my Revan kit. It's a Revan-inspired Mandalorian helmet. Revan's mask was a Mandalorian mask. This was the second costume that I've made. Then moving on, well, so this wasn't my second helmet. This was my second helmet. This was my wife's original Mandalorian helmet for her custom costume for the Mandalorian Mercs Costume Club. So this was the second helmet venture. Then we move up to my son's, again, another hard hat, scratch build helmet. This has a no rim or ridge hard hat. I found a round one. Instead of using bucket material, I used cardboard, Mod Podged over. It's pretty fragile. You could see it cracking. It doesn't really show up when you're out and about, but a lot easier to work with, but not durable at all. He also has a motorized antenna, like I put in my first helmet. Okay, so then let's move back to wife. This here is my Sabine helmet. So this is, I have a mold for this. This started off as a bucket build. Then I sculpted on clay and worked the clay over the plastic and everything and created a mold that we'll get to. It's outside, and actually have a fresh pull that's sanded up and ready to go. So Sabine helmet, a lot of fun painting, as you can see. I mean, there's a lot of crazy things. Love the character from Star Wars Rebels. Now my wife's helmet version 2 for her original kit. We have lots of, was it leaf work or foiling, excuse me, to get the shine and so forth. So tried to pull off the original paint scheme and transfer it over. Wish everyone got to go to this. This was so much fun. Premiere, Star Wars, Force Awakens. Lucky few, and a blast. Awesome movie. Fish tank. So we're just testing everything out. So I've had this fish tank for well over 20 years. I think I got it when I was 13. It survived I don't know how many moving trips and wound up, and the thing still holds water. This fish here is actually older than my oldest child. I think he's about 8 years old. He's a flowerhorn cichlid. Very mean, very aggressive, and I think he's hungry right now. So what I've done here is there are no motorized devices in the top tank. It's just minimal pipe work. And basically what happens is it's a siphon system with a pump down below in the sump. Water from the tank below comes up and shoots out here, and then travels along this side of the tank, and then flows over the siphon. Again, it's very dirty. We just got back from vacation. I haven't had time to clean. So then we go downstairs, and then here we have our peaceful community tank with all my biofiltration, my media, and my goodness, my plants, invertebrates, snails, and all kinds of little critters and stuff floating around. So this is the tank for the kids. As you can see, they've scratched it up already. It's acrylic, so they can do their worst. Anyhow, so water flows in at each corner. So there's 2 separate traps that siphon down into here. And then, like I said, I have filtration in the back, as well as a separate mini sump, but it's above tank sump with more media. And everything filters in here. The heaters are in here. And then in the center, behind this log, there's the pump that shoots the water back upstairs. And it's and nothing was calculated. Everything was, let's see if this works. And it did. So water will only flow as to how much water gets pumped upstairs. If I lose power, water will drain. The tank will only fill up so much. So we got like a 55-gallon acrylic and 125 on top. Lots of water. So we're going to cut through the house. Say hi, kids. Say hi, kids. They're watching TV.
Hello?
Okay, we're going to the garage now. The workshop. Disaster! Alright, so this is where all of our costuming stuff is. We've got stored bins of Mandalorian and Star Wars stuff for club business. Come over here. This is my jetpack that I made for my second kit. Sintra, a lot of PVC parts, broken sprinkler heads, knickknacks, etc. There's a little DC pump, which pumps air through a vape machine that I hold my hand. Oh, it broke. That's why it's not on my kit. Anyhow, DC motor powered by a 12-volt DeWalt battery, which is housed in my staff for this costume. And it basically sucks in air, which sucks it in through a vape machine, and then the smoke or the vapor gets sucked through this hose here and then spits out all 3 ports. And then there's LEDs in here. These LEDs flash, they flash white at 2 of the LEDs, flash white at different speeds, and then there's a blue LED. So it kind of produces a fiery effect or whatnot. Maybe I'll post another video later. Again, we're testing. Sorry, I can't stress that enough. My Clarence costume, I threw this together last year. This was at I wore this at Comic-Con last year, 2015. There's the head for him. There's the body for him up there. Took a lot of time, paper mache, and then fiberglassing or resining the paper mache. You have to be a contortionist to get into that suit, and then the head slips on top. A lot of fun. I think I was in it on Thursday for about 6 hours while my friends and family watched me run around and be an idiot, or Clarence. So then we have our shelf of wigs for various cosplays, weapons, more Star Wars armor, lightsabers, Kill la Kill sword for my wife's anime costume. And they're coming around here. I got more crafting materials. It was an expensive trip. Wood. This wood is from work. I think I'm going to turn it into a coffee table. We need one of those. So we got messy workbench, and messy work table. My current project is a Stormwind Guard army. I have several friends that are going to be joining me in this venture. What I'm doing is I'm creating the Stormwind Guard outfit. So when you're playing World of Warcraft and you see the guys running around in Stormwind, the guards, right? Okay. Also inspired by the Warcraft movie, which is coming out. So this is going to be a slightly cartoony version of what we're going to see on film. It's a little bit bigger than the actual armor pieces. Here we have, this is the mold for the belt buckle. So we got a lion head, crest on the belt buckle. Then the gauntlet mold. My lighting is bad in here, and this is really heavy. It's a lot of silicone. This stuff's expensive. Also All of these were created, the sculpts were out of clay. So this is the gauntlet before I molded it, and as you can see, the clay over time is dried and cracked. I Mod Podged over the clay to help kind of preserve it while I was actually pouring the silicone and molding it. So we have EVA foam. It's just a foam mat, like that mat there, and then it's bordered with Sintra, and then clay right on top. I mean, I could pick this off right now, but it's kind of cool. So it looks like an old man the more I look at it, but painted up nice and gold and shiny, it'll be a line. So finished product, well, not finished, still needs to be sanded, but this is me whipping out parts for me and my buddies. So we're going to be rolling around soon as Stormwind Guard. Finished gauntlet, some welding gloves from Harbor Freight. I think they're like $2. The background here, we have my wife's bowcaster for her custom Mandalorian costume. And this is where we store everything. This is my wife's custom Mandalorian costume with her awesome cape. It's actually fire retardant. To put fabric on walls in commercial buildings, it has to repel fire. So there's lots of fiberglass and nasty stuff inside this gold fabric here. Then we go to my original kit, the back, the front. Sorry, this is a test. This is my second kit, my Revan kit. So this is for the other helmet that I have. And then we have my wife's Sabine. It was a rash guard that we used for the shirt and then sewed on the gray fabric. Because it was for surfing, it had a neck thing that you can cut out. It worked out awesome. We used EVA foam that I resined so it won't lose its shape. By far the most fun to paint. Like I said, this kit is stupid fun to make. Yeah. The rest of these are all Sintra. This is 3 mil. This is 3 mil with 3 mil. I think some of the other layers I've used on this is 3 mil with 2 mil, the silver, so I get a thicker effect. Fairy wings for her fawn fairy costume. Her skirt with the bells, and then her top for that dress as well. Let's roll around here. My wife's Maggie weapon from Walking Dead. So we did that 2 years ago at Comic-Con and Kamikaze. My cheese ball Daryl crossbow. My love for zombies in the background. And some more knickknacks, some painted minis and such. Then this is actually I stopped working on this about an hour ago. This is going out. This is my Sabine helmet. So this is what they turn out. It's kind of rough. I mean, like I said, I'm not a professional. I'm just in it for fun. But I made something that works. And this is a Sabine Mandalorian helmet from Star Wars Rebels. We saw the paint job. And this is what I can make. Here's the mold for her. Doing this huge learning process, and it looks like garbage, but it produces something that with minimal sanding can look awesome, and then paint looks amazing. I have these for sale. If you are interested, you can contact me. They are $100 plus shipping depending on where you are in the world. But anyways, let's go back to my mess. So coming over here, I have hard hats for future builds, clay reconstituting. I actually have a Mandalorian helm sculpt in here that I haven't worked on in a while. This was the start of the Sabine build. Of course, I used my bucket build at first. Then as you can see, the remnants of clay and the vanished hard hat top. Then we go, this is my very, very first silicone mold. This is what was used to create my Revan helmet. So this is store-bought 100% silicone from Home Depot. I think creating this, instead of using the actual professional material, This is probably close to $60 worth of silicone, a lot more pain, a lot more time. You have to do it in layers. You got to wear a lot of gloves and pour the silicone into your hand and put it on by hand, as you can see. Lots of ridges and everything. And it made a good helmet, made a good first pull, but then it required a lot of work. Like, I changed so much in the cheek pieces, or the mandibles. I squared them out for my final costumes helmet. I squared them out with Sintra and Bondo. Then, as you can see, there's a rim all the way around. I didn't like it, so I smoothed it out and got rid of it, kind of like this finish with Bondo. So, yeah, I would recommend spending the money and buying the correct molding material. It makes your life easy, but because it's so good, the stuff gets everywhere. As you could see, all these little spots here were longer, and they looked like little screws because they were screw holes from the plywood that I used, which was scrap. Probably going way overboard on this video. But yes, as you can see, out of catastrophe, mayhem, and chaos comes beautiful creations. As long as you can work like a real artist, which is a messy artist and cares more about the product than their actual workspace. So, thank you.